Today, I want to begin my webinar with this IP address. Yes, 128.2.209.44. This is the IP address, which is very interesting and has its own place in the history of internet. You might ask why it's so special. And in 1982, after 2 years of work, 4 computer scientists from Carnegie Mellon University has connected the first IoT device to the internet, or to be precise, at that time it was called ARPANET, which was the predecessor of our known modern internet, which are all using and through where you see me. And you might ask also, what was this device? Is it some scientific instrument? Or again, at that times, the computers was big machines, and maybe there was some kind of cooling machine for that computer, and it helped to know status of that situation. Well, you will be surprised as I was when I was checking this fact. It was the Coke machine. In 1982, 4 computer scientists in Carnegie Mellon University connected the Coke machine to the internet. And you might ask, why connect Coke machine in the brink of computers and internet? Well, the issue this university programmers was facing at the time, after long hours of coding in the lab, they wished to come to this exact machine and have cold soft drink. But they got frustrated every time after the long walk to the machine, and only find it empty, or even much worse, filled with warm soda. To solve this issue, they connected this exact Coke machine to internet, and everyone with my mentioned 128.2.209.43 IP address was able to check if this machine has Coke, and of course it is especially cold drink, so they can enjoy good soft drink after long working hours. If you want to read more about this exact use case, just write Carnegie Mellon Coke machine and you read more. But I won't go more details with that, since you can see from this simple example, this simple issue, that everything starts with simple problem, and then later we progress to smarter systems which can inform users about issues, provide required data, and even give analysis us to be more efficient with our solutions. But let's turn to RMS and our platform. I guess that everyone will agree with me that having workplace which is organized in the way you like is way more efficient than having a mess. Having the desktop, which we see on the right, the clean, organized, and made by you, is way more productive than having one on the left with the number of sticky notes, the information. Here, we can lose the track of our situation, data, and even miss the important call or the fact. All this information is too overwhelming for us. Same can be with IoT platform. Sometimes the main dashboards can be crowded with different data, pre-configured tables, widgets, pop-ups, blinking lights, and other information which may distract you and miss you the main part and aspects why you are working with the system and what you are trying to see. When we was developing the RMS, we kept our focus to create easy-to-use solution for everyone. With various integrated tools in RMS dashboard, we can adapt it to any engineer needs and make it as he likes. At first, we added numerous of charts, which you can see at the top, which users can use it again or not to get overall information. how system performs, how the fleet devices performs, what flash firmware they use, what firmware they uses, what mobile signal of them are, and other important parameters, which can be crucial in your IoT solution in planning maintenance and even diagnosing the issues. Of course, we understand that average data cannot tell the full story. You just can't have I and C quick to try to check what is exactly happening. To know pinpoint device which performing poor, we give you another tool and to know its performance. For this, RMS dashboard table, which you can see a bit below, RMS table can be adapted to all your needs. With it, you can create custom dashboard with all custom features, with custom information in a table itself, which is only necessary for you. Of course, when giving the information in a table, it might be not very comfortable. So again, the main information goes at the end of the table. The least important information gets at the front. We think about that as well and gave you the tool to switch places for the columns. So again, most relevant information about what is happening with the device is located at the front and least important at the back, where you can still see it. Of course, despite how perfect is your table, at the point where one single one device has to be located in a fleet of thousands can be frustrating. You might say each device has its own unique serial number or MAC address, which can be used for a search. And I cannot agree more with you. But who can remember 11 or 12 random symbols for a whole fleet of devices? Well, that's not me for sure, but I think there is people who can do that. But let's make it simple. And when thinking how to make this problem simpler, we have created a system of tags in RMS. User with tags can group devices in their own certain groups with the attributes which they want to assign to them. And by assigning multiple of them to one device, you can easily even pinpoint exact device you want to find in that table. Narrowing the search with each tag, you reducing the number of devices you have to check, and even can go to the single device which you want to find. Isn't that simpler to work when you do not have to think about exact number? You just have to know some kind of structure which you can create your own in RMS and be efficient by looking at devices and finding what is happening. Of course, when you locate that exact device and you get into your detailed pages, you get even more information, which might be frustrating for you just to see the parts which are not interesting for you or unnecessary. We think here as well, we allow you to, first of all, add custom boxes of RMS about device inside the device itself. You can have custom information about device parameters. And you might ask, what information? So think about GPS data, no problem. It can be there. Mobile operating information, also there. And there we have all other information. So if RMS collects that data, it can be added to that custom box and have in your eyes every time you open that exact device. And of course, just to make everything even simpler, you can move those boxes inside the device. And I will show you how it's simple at the end in demo session. So you can see that the dashboard adaptation for your solution can be made very simple by simple solutions like creating your own table, adding custom boxes, tags, or even just moving things around to look at for them to look as you like. Of course, it is always great to have the ability to bend the data in the ways you like and get the most of them for analysis. But imagine if you could create a custom button which would add new functionality to your platform and would allow to control device the way you like. Well, you do not have to think more. We did this, and this kind of functionality already exists in RMS. Maybe you haven't noticed yet. But don't worry, I'm here to show it to you as well. This button was created in the way that if the command and function can be executed in a router, it means that it can be executed from RMS. And you might ask, for example, what can be done? And you can imagine that you can install custom applications, generate custom logs and download them, send control commands from RMS to device and have all control. Heck, even you can create tasks for third-party devices, health check, and take actions if conditions are met. So I even see that one task was created to ping certain computer in from router to which are connected to router, and then if you can ping it, but for example it does not respond, you can reboot it using SSH communication from the router. So all happens from RMS with single button click, and you get full accessibility even to third-party devices, since you have full Linux system working in our router. With this, again, just a few examples. With this functionality we give you, you can create custom tasks and execute them by single click. Really, this is one click for a whole fleet of devices. You just mark devices, select the function, and it's done. It pushed to all devices and executed. To visualize how powerful this tool is, let's look at a few examples. So the first one is third-party application provisioning to the fleet of your devices. One client has approached our support team with the situation where he wanted efficiently distribute and install AWS IoT greengrass software to our routers for further work with connected devices. Without RMS, he would have two choices. First choice would be create custom firmware, and then using RMS help send it to all routers and push it for flashing into the in storage. Second one, go one by one device for some person and install this exact AWS software manually. You can imagine how this could be tedious work. And again, it's not very scalable. If you get 50 new devices, same person have to go same process once again. And to scale everything, you have to either have more people or you have to think smarter. And we go the smarter way. With RMS, you upload greengrass package to RMS, the installation package, and create the task where at first it takes the uploaded package to RMS, sends to all marked routers, then it waits until device confirms confirms that package was uploaded into its storage successfully, and it's prepared to have other commands what to do. Of course, if one router upload process fails, it does not break all chain for other devices. Since at that point, when you push the button to have all the process running, RMS made each different task for each router. So it monitors each device separately from one another. So one failure in the chain does not break a whole process. After it gets confirmation about successful upload, it goes with the instructions, what to use with that file, how to install it, and how to configure software in router to make it running and start collecting and pushing data where it's required. And once again, each route is monitored and controlled separately by RMS. And all this process I just showed was done with one button click. Single time, you prepared one task. After that, it doesn't matter how much routers you want to use, 1, 10, 100,000. From that point, RMS takes place and works automatically. It's beautiful and very easy to scale process for all companies. The other option which I see in RMS is remote accessing turn off computers. We all know that RMS Connect has the ability to access desktop, RDP or VNC protocol to have remote control of it. But how to access turn off PCs? Well, it looks that there is a way. Since our routers already support Wake-on-LAN functionality, and of course, all the modern PCs and laptops also support Wake-on-LAN. So when IT engineer distributes routers and computers into the office, for example, they just have to enable Wake-on-LAN functionality with each device. In RMS, create the button which would send command to router to execute waking up and sending the magic packet to the PC, and it will get that PC running. After that, by simply using already existing RMS Connect with Connect desktop with RDP communication, you can access the Windows PC after power loss, after some work just forgetting and turning off PC, but for maintenance and checking what is happening with that device. As you can see, these two just a few examples of how RMS Task Manager can be used to adapt a different functionality in your IoT solution. And again, this is simple solutions. And again, everything now is limited by imagination and how to use this tool. But let's go to different type of customization of RMS. As you know, RMS have several different roles. So there's admin, there is client, guests, and of course advanced guests. Each has its own rights. And we understand that standard roles where you have either full access to do everything with device or just to view it is not enough to cover company needs and allow configuration of devices. So understand that additional role must be added to RMS, and it's custom user. With custom user, company can create numerous custom roles for its company to meet the need of different access rights. So for example, you have engineer, which is allowed only work with routers and only management. You have the engineers, which are only allowed to work with access part of devices. You have the engineer, which are allowed to work to credits. With custom roles, you can separate this all engineers, and each can work with only part you are allowed with. The other part, which is cannot be removed from the roles, is the hierarchy system. And RMS hierarchy system allows to create virtual separation between device and limit access to selected device from different users. With this system, the main engineer from HQ can have full access of the networks below it. And in case of the help or direct access of the customer, they can have access to their device and help with the issues, or if need, configure certain parts of device in RMS. Of course, at the same time, the structure can protect separate branches from accessing their customers by unauthorized user. Just imagine that branch A engineer thinks it's a quite good idea to get and see what branch B has. Well, with RMS, you cannot do that. In RMS hierarchy system, accounts only have access rights go down to see what is happening with their assigned child companies. So for example, branch A and branch B engineers are two separated entities which cannot access each other and even cannot access their child companies. And you see that with all the possibilities, you have two protected parts where each other cannot see what is happening inside them. Of course, the structure can help with seamless credit distribution and ensure that all devices in branches or again customers are working 24/7 and have all the RMS access they need for easy to use solution. And here we're supporting an unlimited number in a horizontal direction. So again, the HQ company in tier 2 can have unlimited number of sub companies, and of course each branch can have an unlimited number of customer companies under their branch. So you can see it's a very easy and scalable solution to getting all the access and information of devices. The last gasp, well, we call it like that. So here you can create RMS alarm, which can you inform instantly when connected routers are disconnected from RMS. With it, it is possible to react quickly to issue and ensure low downtimes of your IoT solution. On top of that, sometimes when getting this kind of information, you have device disconnected. In RMS, you can create custom message in this last gas. You can know what was the last parameters of device. For example, what was signal strength of the mobile communication? What was mobile technology router using before it went out and lost connection to RMS? Using that brief information, RMS brings you ability to react quickly and know if a device will come back on its own and it's just temporary loss of communication, or you have to send an engineer to the site to figure out what is happening and fix the issue with your IoT solution. And of course, all these parts can be configured with ease as, again, working with our solutions. And of course, if you want to take certain parts of RMS and use it in your unique IoT solution, you can do this as well, since maybe you don't see enough configuration in just our default RMS. With RMS API, it is possible to interact with RMS system in the same way as you would be working in a web browser. Well, you can even create your own RMS web by simply using our API endpoints. So again, just imagine you're creating your own RMS by taking information from our one, and you can add all functionality you want from RMS into your IoT platform. So if you see some parts you don't like in RMS or you want to take into your IoT solution, go and use that API. We have full support of open API standard, and I will show how to access all documentation in just a moment, my demo. And that is was all parts I wanted to cover just before going to my demonstration. So let me just change the screen, and I will show you where to find each part in RMS. Okay, and I am back. I hope you see my screen. So here we have prepared a demo account where you can see the same thing I see in RMS. And so in devices menu, as I have mentioned, all these tools are fully configurable by your needs. And when I've mentioned, if you don't want, you can remove these charts and don't be distracted by them. Of course, if you like it, you can use it only once you wish to see status of the devices, what models we use, again, what firmware device has, and again, maybe you don't need this part of information. You can see what is happening. And by simply clicking on them, the automatic filter will be applied, and these devices will only be shown for you and how it's working. And of course, you see that all information is stacked together. So again, if you want to see, do not want to see certain parts, you can remove it easily like that. Then we have the custom presets. As the creator of RMS, we have made numerous options of single table presets. But again, as user, you can create your own preset to have only that information you wish to see. And by simply clicking few buttons and selecting from, you can see numerous variants of possible information in the table. You can create your own preset to have best workflow you want. And for example, again, what information you think might be required for my demo? And for me, it's quite important to know the model, the name, to see what is the monitoring uptime of the router. Of course, it is possible for me to know uptime of the router, what is the mobile operator, and just to know the tags I have assigned to my device. And with that, you have the table you maybe be beneficial to work for you. And let's drag and drop it, the information I want to see at the beginning, and push all necessary information at the back of the table. Of course, when I have this not small and of course not very big table, I have lots of devices which, okay, I have names and know what is happening, but again, I might not know where they are located, where to send engineers, and again, what is happening. For that, you have tags. And you either can click on the tag itself to get filtering of that single tag, or go here and again, select from multiple tags to have exact information about your devices which are working with. And again, it can streamline all your communication, all your control of device. And of course, lastly, what I want to show is that the possibility of creating custom boxes. And for example, you can move those boxes around to have only that parts which you want to see. And of course, by adding custom ones, you can have the information you are the most relevant for you. And let's quickly create a custom box. And I quite like to see mobile operator information in my general menu. So let's have information about the operator. Of course, mobile uptime, interesting for me. The signal parameters, I'm quite interested what is happening. And of course, I'm quite interested about the operator parameters. And with that, I just created a custom box, which is currently located at the bottom, but there's no problem since we can easily move it up and have this information at the place where I want to have and get the most use of it. Yeah, so this is show how you can adapt RMS dashboard and device to your needs and add custom information which are most relevant to you. Now, I want to show that Wake-on-LAN demo, which I have talked before. And let's go back to my, first of all, let's go and see if my laptop is working and see if I can have access to it. And of course, while it's loading, oh, it's created the link. And let's see. Yes, so it's currently working and I have full access to my laptop desktop. So for just for demonstration, I will shut it down. So you can see I lost connection, timeout, RMS timeout. I have no more access to this laptop since again, it was turned off. Again, if I try to press this button, I will get the timeout since I'm not able to access this laptop. Again, you see it's not connecting. So what I have done in advance while preparing for this webinar, I have created a RMS Task Manager command where by simply pressing button VOL laptop and of course confirming that is me that I want to execute this command with my Teltonika AD application, I just send it this task to router, which will then send magic packet to router to laptop port to wake him up from the sleep, or exactly turn it back on. And with that, as you can see, let's try to connect it again. And I have shut down the device, but now I have again full access to it. And everything was done from RMS. I turned it back on from RMS using Wake-on-LAN functionality, and then access it again with RMS Connect remote desktop access possibility. So again, see how it can be beneficial for IT administrators and so getting the access to PC which was turned off or lost after loss of power or some personnel turning it off without reading the email which was necessary for IT administrator.
Yeah, and Thomas,
yes?
you can also show, that you can customize that the link you create and will be reachable for, let's say, a couple of days and sent to your maybe, junior engineer, right?
Yeah, sure. Good to notice that. So again, by this, you can simply select the date until you want this link to be usable.
Or
and
active.
With that,
yeah.
And by selecting generate, and with simple selection of date, you get longer living link, 96 hours. And now everyone who shared this link will have the access to this desktop PC. So we can see that RMS can be beneficial in every scenarios of your use case. Then we have the custom roles. And again, as I have mentioned about custom roles, you can select from numerous options and numerous parameters which you can give to your company accounts and have different accessibility to the accounts. So let's create a custom role for this. And what I want this role to allow is to give access to VPN, all VPN parts. So again, starting with VPN hubs, users, routes, the HTTP option, dynamic DNS. Oh, that's not the correct one. You can give all the access to VPN hub and only the VPN hub. And with this create a task, and if I invite the new user, I can give only this role to him so he will have access only to VPN part, and it only can work with VPN on this RMS account. And of course, same goes with the hierarchy. When you're creating the hierarchy system, and as you can see, I'm the mother company of these all companies, and I have under my umbrella, I have 2 OPM training A and B companies, which I was showing in my topology. And that companies have additional child companies, A1, A2, and B1. And at that point, I see all this information. But if I connect to, for example, A company, I will be able to see only A1 and A2, and same applies to B. If I connect to these third level child companies, I only have access to this company information. So for example, what is happening with the company, user accounts, and devices. You might ask, is it hard to create the company? And of course, it's no. You just simply give it a name and select which company should be the parent company. So again, I want to create for company. Oh, it's already taken. And of course, I created the company, so third level company, which belongs to company A. And of course, if I want for this company to work fluently and without the problems, I just simply toggle the button to give the credits to that company devices. And after that, this company doesn't have to worry about the credits, since again, it will take from my pool. And only main engineers have to think about the credits and if they have enough for devices to work. And of course, lastly, the API. To access RMS API, first of all, you have to enable two-factor authentication, since you have to increase the security of your account. Since you're giving third-party, you will have third-party platform access to your account. After that, you have full access to RMS API, and here you can reach all documentation and read it how it works. And at API reference, you can we give you a sandbox where you can test different API endpoints and see how they works, what return codes you get when it's successfully, and of course when some kind of issues you might have. Of course, what parameters you can request, and see what information you can get about the device or devices. And here again, all RMS web you can access from here can be created and accessed from API as well. So again, same access, just looks a bit different in this way. And what I wanted to say is that, yep, that is it. Or as I all want to share with you today. So again, make sure to check our wiki and make sure follow us on various social channels. And if you would like to get all the latest news, I strongly suggest you subscribe to our newsletter. If you have any questions, ask them in our crowd support forum or contact our sales managers directly. If you need additional help with RMS or again, any other our products,